My apologies, chat. I don't know what happened. I swear that I set the stream to start at 11 and 20 minutes, but for some reason I guess I messed it up. So I'll just start it earlier than I planned, but later than I scheduled. Alright, well, we're going to be talking about Warhammer 40k today. I genuinely didn't expect to make a stream today. I wanted to take a day off. But this whole thing blew up all over the internet, and I think it's important that we have a conversation. Simply because there are a lot of talking points that need to be said. There's going to be a lot of debate online surrounding this, so it's good if you guys have your arguments ready, because a lot of this ideological battle is fought with linguistics. And if you know what to say in public, then you look good. Otherwise, you look weird, right? Because they will try to frame this as, oh, you just don't like women, right? You don't like women, and this is why you don't like female space marines. And if you don't continue purchasing, if you don't continue giving money to the company, you're ridiculous. I actually seen this happening, right? So, I wanna point out the main reason on why people hate woke ideology. Like the main reason, well, because it's the question, like what's wrong with woke ideology? And the answer is there's plenty of things that are wrong. But one of the main things, one of the things that I would say stand out the most is the people who are pushing the woke nonsense are very toxic individuals. They are incredibly obnoxious. They are very divisive. Any forum that has them is going to suffer. There is no way that most people would have these individuals as friends in real life or would want to hang out with them. And here's an example, right? So Warhammer 40k announces that it's going to add female space marines. And instead of like going on Twitter and seeing the people that demanded for this to happen actually celebrating, instead of saying them, oh, I can hardly wait to buy the game, I can hardly wait to play with the female space marines, or asking questions, well, are they nice? Do they have big asses? Do they have big tits? Like, what are we talking about? No, what they do is partake into this attempt at ritual humiliation with anyone that's upset. Right? So, as you can see here, like, ladies and gentlemen of Warhammer, we won, the gate is crushed, Chad Hammer has been defeated, their men are fleeing the battlefield, reduced as locale. So all they're doing, like, all the fandom is doing, is being antagonistic, being cheeky little shits to the actual fans. And they're celebrating the fact that Warhammer is now losing money. And we know it's losing money because there are many people online which are posting their purchase history. Like there are individuals, let me see if I can get one example, that have spent more than $10,000 on the hobby, right? And you got like this guy over here. He's basically saying, I've been a GW customer for 30 years. I got 40,000 RBs, collectively 50,000 points. He's showing all the receipts, like he says the information here, but you can see like how much money he has spent, how much money he invested, tens of thousands of dollars. There's pages after pages with him like showing his debit card. And if these were like actual fans, they would be like, well, hold on, like why are you like this? Like, come on, just take a deep breath, like the hobby is still here, blah blah blah. But no, what they are doing is like actively mocking, insulting, ridiculing this guy. It's like, how dare you? What type of person are you? What do you mean you don't want to spend another $400 on Space Marines? Are you insane? Are you loco? Like, what do you mean you don't want to give more money to the company? Like, you have to. You absolutely have to, right? And this is the core of the issue. The core of the issue is that the people that the company is now supporting are some of the most toxic, divisive, evil people on the internet. And the question has to be, why should I give the company my money? Why should I give my money when you are courting these customers? When these are the people that you want to associate with? Because notice how Games Workshop is not coming out and saying, well, actually Warhammer is for everyone, so you guys need to cool it. Can you guys please stop being this divisive? Like, can you stop insulting our customers? They're not doing that, right? Like, they're not banning the people that are being cheeky little shits. that are being antagonistic on purpose, that are going out of their way in order to be obnoxious. Because I will say this, like my side, I mean, I stream with Arch Warhammer all the time. Our side aren't going out of our way in order to target people and be obnoxious and obtuse. But for some reason, Games Workshop is siding. And what's interesting is that there was this black gentleman came out yesterday with an open letter to Warhammer, and in that open letter, he basically shows the harassment that he is getting from the alleged good people. So the good people are attacking him. They're calling him all sorts of names and slurs. Why? Because he disagrees with them. So now you have like these white bourgeois twats that claim to champion minorities and claim that, oh yes, we're going to be more inclusive. And when a minority says, well, actually, you guys don't represent me, they start calling them slurs. They start insulting them. They question their IQ. And I'm sorry, but like, I don't like these types of people. When I was a kid and I was playing on Xbox, and you had Skullfuck47 saying that he wants to fuck my mom, and saying all the gamer words and all of the toxicity towards me. At the end of the day, you know what? Skullfuck47 didn't actually hate me. He didn't actually want to fuck my mom, chat. He genuinely didn't. It was just banter. Like, if me and Skullfuck47 from Xbox, if we actually met in real life, we would probably shake hands and drink a beer, because at the end of the day, we were both gamers and we respected one another. But these woke individuals, like they are posting some of the most divisive stuff that you can imagine. Like, let me give you one example, right? Listen, hold on. Let me find where. Alright, listen to this. It brings me so much joy to know that you feel like all your favorite hobbies are being stripped away from you. You will never get what you think you had back, and that is hilarious. Why would you post something like this? Why would you post something like this? Here's another one. Yeah, we invited them, and they're here to replace you fuckers. And someone responds like, remember when the same people said we're not here to take your toys away? And this guy replies, no, you can have your toys, sit in the basement with them and shit. No, it's the attention we will be taking from you, the community, the leniency. We will snatch that from you so fast that you won't even realize until you're out the door. Why do I want to associate myself with a company that is promoting these individuals, that is promoting these people, that is promoting this behavior? Like they are courting customers that are being antagonistic towards their fans that, again, like they have receipts that they spent $10,000 or more on the plastic toys. There is absolutely no reason, and this is why wokeness has such a stink attached to it. Because no matter how good the ideology, no matter how much you claim that, oh, you're there for championing equality and you're there to bring a better place, not with people that have those personalities you will. Not with people that act like that in public. They haven't acted like that towards me, but they're acting like that towards my friends, towards people that I know. American Outlier, thank you for the $5. Hello V, hope your day is going well. Glad you like the SSR character, LOL. Her name is Justine. I think you will enjoy her presence in the manga. I think I will as well. Can you please provide the link or some pictures to those messages? They're on my Twitter account. I don't want to give ammunition for individuals to strike me down from YouTube, right? So this is why I censor the names. This is why I don't want to show, the name of the person that's tweeting this, because then they can say, they're encouraging harassment. I don't care who's posting this. It's the idea that they're posting. But if you want to see it, I shouldn't even provide anything. Go to the Games Workshop account, right? Go to the Twitter account and look at the replies. Like, there are so many toxic replies over there that I don't even have to pick any. Just look at whenever you see someone that's showing, I've been a customer for ages. Like, here's a link. I spent more than $10,000 on your game, and I would have done so in continuity, but you guys decided to go a different way. And then look at the toxic and vile messages that person is getting. It's like they're baby Hitler or something. Rick and Morty writers are scripting One Punch Man movie. Man, Must everything be a movie now? Why on earth would you make one? The thing is, like, especially when you're talking about One Punch Man, which is over the top special effects, making it into a movie just not going to look good. But anyway, right? So going back to this, again, I want to look at an interesting picture that I have seen. There was like one called The Gatekeepers. Yeah. So hold on, Grooms posted this. Let me see if I can find it. All right. Now, I gotta say, I'm not upset about this at all, because, like, if you want to make your own lore, if you want to make your own fluff, like, that's fine, right? Like if you buy your own figurines and you want to assert your ideology onto them, that's fine. But, like, I guarantee to you, if someone did this and started painting swastikas on the figurines, the same people that are doing this would freak out. But okay, like, I'm fine. You want to make the Gate Crushers, which are woke space marines. Here's my question, though. Like first and foremost, why is it that in 40K, like 40,000 years from now, when the history has even lost the names of the countries that we live in today, why would they still have the same colors and they would still have the same paraphernalia and same insignia that people today have? Right? Like, it's you haven't really think this through. But okay, fine. Even then, even if you want to have, like, okay, so you just want the same flags and the same paraphernalia, that's fine. But the problem is, why would you want these people to represent you? Like they are, I can't really call them space Nazis, but they are like genetically modified racist humans. Like they are racist to the extreme. And the only reason they are as such is because it is a requirement for humanity to flourish in the grim dark universe that is 40K. And you want you to feel represented by these monstrosities. Right? Like, does it make any sense? It's like me wanting to be represented by the Joker. It's like, why would I want that? The Joker is evil. Now, don't get me wrong, like, the Joker is cool, like, he can make cool stories that are interesting to read, but I wouldn't want to be represented by the fucking Joker. Like, this is what is bizarre. And again, like, if you look at it through the prism that, oh, they just want to improve the game, they can't enjoy anything unless it's their ideology in it, it doesn't make sense. But if you're looking at it from the prism of they want to be cheeky little shits and antagonize everyone else, like, you got these narcissistic personalities of individuals that, unless they're in the center of attention, unless everyone talks about them, they don't feel good. And in order to get the attention, they're like the clown that gets on the teacher's desk and pulls down his pants and moonlight the class, and everyone gets like the ha ha ha. But he's the butt end of the joke, literally. And after he gets taken to the principal office, again, he gets at the bottom of the social ladder. This is literally what these individuals are doing, because I have seen accounts from that talk about Warhammer 40K, which have like maybe, I don't know, like 500 subscribers or so, like literally 2 views. And they have never got so much attention. They have never got so much traction as they do now. And then you understand why they're doing it. Then you understand, like, for them, it's not about the game. It's not about the hobby. It's just like ruining it for everyone else, flipping the Monopoly board so that they get the attention. They get the spotlight for the 5 minutes of fame. And tomorrow, no one talks about this anymore. Like, tomorrow, everyone forgets. All these people that are playing Warhammer 40K now, they're going to move to other games. They're going to buy Stellar Blade and play other tabletop, if at all, because, like, tabletop is dying as a genre anyway. And that's going to be that, right? But they're still going to ruin something for the sake of ruining it. Dice Punk Studio says it's important to consider that this was likely done so the investor class can buy up more shares at a discount. The leftist thinks it's about them. I generally don't know why. I mean, I can suspect that there may have been financial issues. If you want to talk about Games Workshop from like a specific business point, their business model is dying. And it's dying for several reasons. First of all, like, the business model itself is wrong. Once someone has purchased an entire army, they do not have any reason to keep buying. So like, if you're an orc player, once you purchased all the orcs, you don't invest anymore, right? Like, this is not like a card game where, oh, you're, trying to make a deck in Magic the Gathering, and Magic the Gathering says that any cards that have been released like 4 seasons ago become obsolete and you can't play them in tournaments, right? So like, if you want to play Standard in Magic the Gathering, you can only make decks from like within the last 3 seasons or something like that, right? So you are constantly incentivized to buy more cards. Like, you need to constantly just buy more. With Warhammer 40k, if you want to play one army and you're not interested in switching or anything like that, once you bought the Orc pack, there is no reason why you'd want to buy another, right? Like, it's done. So they're not gaining as much sales. And the thing is, like, they could actually try to make the game on PC, and they would fix this problem, because like on PC, you can always just add reskins, or you can add different animations to the characters, or you can have like loot boxes that offer you a chance to get something rare or shit like that. But they don't, right? So they're stuck in the model of plastic toys, which I don't think is sustainable, especially not today, right? Because in 2024, a lot of people choose not to meet in person. A lot of people just want to play from home. It's like the absolute peak convenience, and you want to sit at home, play at your PC. So you just want to, connect really fast. Like, I play Dungeons and Dragons now with Arch and Sargon, right? Like, if I physically wanted to meet Arch and Sargon in real life to play Dungeons and Dragons, I would not be able to do so, simply because of the distance. Like, there's a lot of people that are part of communities and have friends that are from far away. So like, physically meeting and playing tabletop games is impossible for them. So yeah, like, the business model itself is dying. Now, they could have fixed it by making it a PC game, but instead they're choosing to cater to the leftists, knowing that a big chunk of their audience is not interested in that. Like, I think Warhammer 40k is not like other games where you're banking on like getting, a couple of people that constantly buy your stuff. Instead, it's built around whales. Like a couple of people that purchase a lot, like they spend a lot on the hobby. And those are the ones that are driving the industry. And they're not leftists, by the way. Now, how many of them are just not even right-wingers and they're not even part of a cultural, ideological battle? I've no idea. But again, if you go on the Warhammer 40k Twitter, you will see that there's a lot of people that have spent more than $10,000 on the hobby, and they're saying they're not willing to spend more. And that is definitely a loss for 40k. Now, are there people that would have never played 40k, but now, because Games Workshop comes up and says, yeah, there's going to be female Space Marines, they're going to pick up the game? I don't see those people. I don't see, like, again, I want to remind you, there is no one right now that is happy with the decision that Games Workshop did. I don't see people going around and saying, wow, I can hardly wait to play with the female Space Marines. Oh, I can hardly wait to get my hands on this. I want to know more about the lore. There is no excitement for the product. The only excitement that I see is people rubbing it in the faces of the anti-woke brigade, the actual people spending money, and they're like, you're such a lol cow. Oh, what do you mean you're not going to give Games Workshop another $400? Oh, you're absolutely ridiculous. How dare you not spend money on your hobby? That is the excitement. The only excitement comes from the leftists seeing that right-wingers are upset. That's it. There is no excitement for the actual product, which to me shows that the company is not going to make money in return. I see them losing customers. I see a lot of people upset, but I don't see people happy and deciding to buy into the product because, oh, this is such an amazing decision. They learn from Occupy how easy it is to monetize activism, use it to manipulate prices and economies. That was when it all started. No, I agree, Dice Punk Studios. BlackRock doesn't even want the tabletop. They want the movie rights, the IP, the Black Library. This has nothing to do with DEI except that it's a tool. That would actually be, like this could actually be a possibility that Games Workshop, they do not want to give the rights to a movie, or they do not want to give the rights to a PC game, and you have like people from the inside sabotaging it in order for the prices to drop, so that they will be desperate and they will be like, well, we really need financial cash now, so sure, like here's the rights to make a movie, give us some money. I can see that happening. That is definitely a possibility. Still, regarding this whole thing, most people aren't upset about female Space Marines, right? Because the game has female characters. Like, that's not the issue. It's the morality of it. It's like the implication that there is something inherently wrong for men to have men-only spaces. Right? So, like, you can't have male Space Marines that are only men because that is evil, because they're not inclusive. However, you can have female-only things. You can have, like, the Sisters of Battle, which are female-only, and that is fine. Although, I gotta say, I will say this. If they were to try to have, like, male, Misters of Battle, right? Instead of the Sisters of Battle, you'd have Misters of Battle. Or they have like the Night Elf Witches, right? Sorry, the Dark Elf Witches. If they were to add like men within those, people would still be upset because it contradicts the lore. Like why would I care about your lore if I can't get invested? Like, imagine your mother when you were a kid coming in to tell you a fairy tale, right? Like, she's telling you a story. And she's telling you about Prince Charming. And she's like, well, okay, so like there was this kingdom, and the king and the queen had a son, and his name was Prince Charming. So Princess Charming, and you're like, well, hold on, Mom, didn't you say that he is Prince Charming? And your mother would be like, yeah, who cares? It's a fairy tale about dragons. Like, what does it matter if it's Prince Charming or Princess Charming? Just like go with it. And then, she changes the name of the character as well. And it's like, well, actually, the king was dead. And it's like, well, Mom, didn't you say that the king was alive? Like, didn't the king marry the queen and they had Princess Charming? But why do you care? Why do you care? It's a fairy tale. It's with dragons. It doesn't need to make sense. And it's like, well, okay, but like, if you're going to be like that, you can't expect the person to be invested in your story. You can't expect the person to actually care about what you're talking about. And if they don't care, how do you expect them to give you money? Like if you want someone to give you money for your fairy tale, not only do they need to be invested, but they need to be extra invested to the point where they're willing to part with their cash. The target is the lore, and the most importantly, it's what it represents. Everything that represents duty, honor, self-sacrifice, and masculinity was their target. Notice how there are like other things in the universe that they don't freak out about. Like, for instance, there are no female orcs, and you don't see them like wanting female orcs, right? Like the orcs are a gender-neutral species, but they're male. Like, every single orc is a man, and they're not complaining about, well, why can't we have female orcs? Well, why can't we have children Space Marines? That's another thing, right? Like, why can't kids? Why can't 6-year-olds? I mean, we're supposed to be inclusive, right? Why can't, in a world, I mean, from a lore standpoint, you can make the argument, it's like, well, the mankind is in peril. Well, why can't children have guns? And theoretically, I'm pretty sure that in the space, in the Warhammer 40k setting, like, you do have kids that are part of the, what's it called? The Imperial Navy, right? But still, like, if that's your battle, if you genuinely want inclusivity, uber alles, why would you not want for kids to be Space Marines? Well, and it's also this thing, right? Like the representation bullshit that really ticks me off. The main problem with representation is like, why would I want to be represented by a fucking Space Marine? Why would I want to be a Space Marine? Like, that is like one of the worst types of existences possible. Like, okay, so for those of you who don't know the lore, not only do Space Marines undergo really brutal surgery with a very high fatality rate, but even if you manage to get through the thing, the life of a Space Marine is just hardship. Like, if you're not on a planet fighting like some alien monstrosities that can rip you to shreds, that you're training constantly. You have no free time. You have no privacy. You're a religious fanatic. I don't understand, like, why would anyone even want to? It's called grimdark for a reason. Like, there are people who want to be in Star Trek next to Captain Picard and explore new planets. There are people who want to be in Stargate and go through the Stargate and explore new planets and stuff. But I've never heard anyone genuinely wanting to be in Warhammer 40k. In fact, like, that would be one of the worst punishments that you could give to someone. Like if I was to choose, let's say they catch me committing a crime, and I have to choose between capital punishment or being sent into the 40k universe to become a space marine, I would choose the capital punishment all the time, every time. I wouldn't even think about it. Holy shit. Right? So it's not about representation. It's just about pissing off, like being cheeky little shits online and pissing off anyone that disagrees with them. Like for them, the catharsis is knowing that they upset right-wingers. That's it. Right? Like, the people pushing for female space marines, they just want to see right-wingers upset. There is no other reason. They're like, no, you don't give me the shit that you want to be represented. Christica, Warhammer has fallen. Million must play Nikkei. And man, like, I wish that Nikkei actually had more complex gameplay. Like it's something nice to pass the time, and I do not feel the urge to spend any money, although I have decided to support the developers, so I did give them $50. Because I think the game was worth more than $50, to be honest. Like, with $50, I wouldn't even be able to buy a AAA game, and Nikkei has given me already 1 month of entertainment, which is a lot more than any other game has given me so far. Like a AAA game, you manage to finish it in one, maybe 2 weeks max, and then you have nothing to do. So yeah, I think like $50 is actually decent of a support for the developer. And yeah, it's nice. Like, you just get the story, you do the dailies, and that's pretty much it. It's not a very complex game, but if you want to talk about 3D Nikkei, that's Stellar Blade. It's the same company that made it, right? So I'm actually curious if we are going to get the Stellar Blade Eve into Nikkei. Like, that would be great. And by the way, look at me complaining about female space marines, and everyone, oh, you're a misogynist, and I prefer a game Nikkei, which literally has only female characters. And by the way, I want to point out something else about the internet as a whole, like the absolute state of modernity, right? So, on the left, it's a very popular singer, I would say. I do not know her name, but many people are aware of her, right? And if you go on Twitter and you say that you want beautiful female characters, people tell you that you're obsessed with porn, that you're a coomer or anything. But this is the music industry, right? Like, this is on YouTube, this is okay, this is fine, this is acceptable in the music industry. But if you were to take this character and put her in a video game, they would say that, oh my god, misogyny. But I was pointing out that despite the fact that everyone says that, oh, you're a porn addict, you're obsessed with porn, I don't like this. I don't like this in my entertainment. I like this, right? This is what I like. And people who said, how can you like pixels over a real woman? And it's like, first of all, it's because I'm married, right? Like, I'm not supposed to like another real woman. And secondly, from my perspective, like, I'm sitting at the computer, they're both pixels. I will never meet the lady on the left. I will never talk to her. I will never have a conversation with her. There's no way that I, from Romania, am even going to go out on a date with her. So, like, from my perspective, both women are women that I will never meet, right? But then I was told, no, you're a misogynist, you don't like real women, right? Like, this was the other argument of the story. And I disagree with that as well, because recently I was given an image from a cosplayer, and I was like, no, I'm pretty sure I like normal women as well. It's just that there is a difference between vulgarity and having sex appeal. Like, that is like this thing, I suppose, where a lot of people, and I think like this is the majority of people, they prefer lewdness over pornography. Like, porn is fine, there's a place for porn as well. But when it comes to entertainment, when it comes to like me, like I don't want to masturbate, I just want to play a video game, I just want to enjoy something, I prefer lewdness. Like, it's fine to show a little bit of a belly, it's fine to show some cleavage, like it's perfectly acceptable. I don't want, though, the character to rub their genitalia on my face. Unless it's porn. If it's porn, that's fine, like that's different. But like, if we're talking about, like what would I consider relationship material? Like what would I consider as a waifu? What would I consider as a woman that's decent enough for my son to marry? It would definitely be something like this, rather than a woman that just rubs genitalia in your face. Like, rubbing genitalia in your face, sure, that's fine. One night stand, like that is okay, like it also has its place. But it's not waifu material. It's not someone that I would introduce to my circle of friends. It's not relationship building. And I think like Twitter just doesn't understand the difference. They do not, like if you do not like the first picture, it's because you're a misogynistic pig, or, oh, it's because you're racist, I like this one as well. Like, yeah, like, you're literally in my head. There can be no other explanation. There can be no other reasoning. Porn Addicts is a good band name, not gonna lie. Oh my fucking god, I should have named my company like this. I think I can still do it. It should be Porn Addicts. Obsessed with porn. Lewdness is the implication, porn is the blatant action. Yeah, no, I think it's also like the vulgarity, I think if you're a woman, if you're like this, you still have your dignity. Like you still manage to, like, you wouldn't be embarrassed with this picture. If your dad saw this picture, you wouldn't be embarrassed with it. It's a cosplay. You're cosplaying a female character, like, from a video game. Like, that's fine. Unless your dad is, like, a super conservative Muslim or something. But, like, if you're in a liberal country, like, I wouldn't be upset if my daughter took pictures like that. It's fine. I know that some people from the Anglosphere would be outraged, but no, I think it's fine. Like, she's covered. It's okay, She's cosplaying. But if you have a picture where the woman is rubbing the genitalia in the face of someone, I would say, yeah, no, I don't think the father would be proud. So like, that is the question of, like, maintaining dignity. Which is something that, again, I understand that modern society doesn't like. Like, as a man, you have many standards, right? Like, as a man, you're supposed to uphold many standards. Like, if you're a man that goes out with a lot of women, you're a womanizer, a frat boy, a fuck boy, like, that's not okay. You're supposed to not oogle at women, right? Because then they're a porn addict. You're supposed to not talk about when video game characters have the man jaw. Like, you're supposed to do all that thing. Like, you got so many standards as a man. As a woman, if you say a single standard, you're a misogynist. And I like playing this with progressives. I like, okay, so tell me something that you think women have to do in the society. Because I can tell you, like, what men have to do. Like, as a man, if you have a kid, you're supposed to raise him. Otherwise, you're a deadbeat dad. Right? You're supposed to not be toxic, because toxic masculinity is bad. You're supposed to not spread your legs when you're on the subway, because manspreading is bad. You're supposed to not talk over a woman, because mansplaining is bad. Like you got a lot of rules and regulations. Now, what are the rules and regulations for women? They can't say it. It's misogyny when it's convenient for them to attack you, and it helps them gain power. It's a vector of attack. Yes, Druzil, absolutely. How many people from Tekken Games do I have? I got Druzil tonight, and I got Dice Punk Studios. Are we forming a game development council here without my knowledge? Tell me what video games you're making. That's actually interesting. I got the American Outlier. He's making a manga. After he finishes, I will have to whisper poison in his ear so that he makes a video game as well. I don't see any women working on oil rigs. But I don't think they have to. I don't think everyone needs to work in everything. Pretty sure there must be, like, a woman that works on a oil rig. Like, somewhere. Like, working on a oil rig is also not desirable. Like think about it this way, right? Like, what type of person works on an oil rig? Is that something that most people want to do when they're growing up? I'm not saying that it's a bad job. It's a very respectable job, right? Because like someone also has to do it. So mad respect for the people that work on oil rig. They're probably well paid as well, better paid than a gender studies expert. But like, most people don't think about working on an oil rig when they grow up, right? Because it's a very difficult job. It's back-breaking work. It's going to come with a lot of health issues. Most people that do go to work on an oil rig do so because they need money, right? Like, they desperately need cash. So the opportunity comes and they're like, all right, well, I'll take this job. But if you're a woman, especially if you're an attractive woman, you can just have the option to marry someone that's already wealthy. A man can't do that. Like, I would love, you know, if I was young again and I wasn't married, I would love to live in a universe where you can marry a female billionaire that looks like this, and then you can just sit at home and play house husband. Right? So your house husband, you're married to this wealthy millionaire woman. She makes a lot of cash, you know, she goes to work. And when she comes home, you just gotta wait for her with cookies, with the stuff that you baked. And then make love to her, right? Like, that's also part of your responsibility as a man. You gotta make love to her. Imagine that, right? Like a universe where that was an opportunity. So you're desperate, you don't have money, all you can do, you got the opportunity to just go on Tinder. There's probably hundreds, if not thousands of women that want to date you. And you're like, okay, well, let me see, which one do I like more? And how wealthy are they? By the way, I saw this study, like, this was interesting and mind-blowing at the same time. I saw this study saying that the average woman in the United States gets 1,000 notifications for sex every week. And I'm like, is that true? Right? Like people that are hitting on her, like 1,000. And I think, like, dude, imagine what that does to a person's ego. Like seriously, imagine this, right? Like, you open your social media account, and when you're on Facebook or on Instagram, you got 1,000 ladies that look like this, and they all just want to go out with you. They're all asking you out. What would that do to your ego? Like, seriously, think it through. Like imagine if all these people were absolutely desperate in order to talk to you and for you to give them attention. I mean, that's holy shit, right? That explains a lot in our generation's behavior. And it's all because of the dating apps, right? Because the dating apps makes all this possible. So you, and social media as well. Because before social media, you know, if you are like a attractive lady, well, you had your circle of friends. Chances are there was another lady that was more attractive than you, but like, you didn't have access to that many men outside of your circle of friends. So it was a lot more restricted. But nowadays, if you're an attractive lady, you have access to like all the men, not just from your neighborhood, but from your entire city through social media and other things. And all of them are trying to strive for your attention. And it's like, wow, like what that does to a person's ego, I can't possibly imagine. You mean a world of moral reversal? I think I know exactly how to describe it. When I was playing World of Warcraft, it's an MMO, but it's like a social experiment. When I was playing World of Warcraft, if you wanted to do a dungeon, was called an instance, you needed 5 people. Now you were one of the 5, so you needed to get 4 more. So you needed 3 DPS, 1 tank, and 1 healer. Now the problem was that playing a tank was very boring. So a lot of people wouldn't play a tank. Everyone liked playing a DPS. Playing DPS was fun. Playing a healer or a tank, not so much, but playing a tank was even less fun. So there were very few tanks on the server. Which means that every single tank had constant requests from various strangers like, hey, do you want to do a dungeon? Do you want to do a dungeon? Hey, do a dungeon with me. Let's do a dungeon. And because of that, tanks were arrogant pricks. Every single fucking one of them. You know, like, I was organizing raids, and when you went to a raid, you needed to have your gear repaired. You needed to have your flasks and consumables. You needed to be on time. And everyone did so except the fucking tank. Because he knew that I couldn't replace him. He knew that there's like we were doing really high-end raiding, and there were maybe like 10 other tanks on the server, and they were already in other guilds. And he knew that I couldn't replace him, and it pissed me off so fucking much. But the reason for this was that his ego was through the roof. And his ego was through the roof because he knew he was desirable. Because he knew he's irreplaceable. My fucking god, did I kick that asshole the first opportunity I got. Holy fucking shit. I paint and build models for people, lol, and I'm making a tabletop space combat game set in 1999. You know what? You should talk to me on Twitter, on Discord. Maybe I can tell you about the universe in my game and we can work something out. I'm actually interested in making a sequel for my game, so... People rise to the standards they are held to. This explains a lot to the behavior of women in first world nations today. Yeah, I don't think it's like... It's young women, right? Like, elderly women aren't like this. And again, I do not blame them. I would probably be arrogant as fuck if I just got on social media and I would have, like, 1,000 people requiring my attention. Just constantly. Like you see this with streamers. Like streamers that have millions of subs. They're arrogant pricks. Almost all of them. And it's... There is a reason why you know, like, when you have someone that's acting like a cheeky little shit, people say, like, why are you acting like you're some sort of celebrity? It's because celebrities act like this. And the reason they act like this is because they got so much attention. Like, everyone is trying to get their attention, so you start acting like a prima donna. Thank you, Dicebox Studios. I'm excited. Okay, GW, I want to hear nothing. If I field a Misters of Silence or Adepto Broritos army, since 40 years of Lord don't matter. They won't care. No, they won't care. The thing is, they don't even care about their lord anymore. Like, as long as they come off as the good guys, that's fine. And good guys side with the left. I don't even know if they did it because of ideological reasons. Like, Sargon thinks it's ideological. I don't know. I genuinely have no clue why they did it. Because definitely it doesn't make financial sense. Like, imagine this, right? Imagine if I run a Christian company. And for the last decades, everyone that comes in and donates is mostly Christian. Oh, perfect example. My YouTube channel. Okay, now my YouTube channel is filled with liberal-oriented people. Not the American sense of liberalism, but like people who like freedom, who, they don't like to be told what to do. They don't like authoritarianism. And most of you guys are right-wing as well, right? So, if I all of a sudden start to spew communist content, will I actually get communists that watch me? No. I won't get communists watching me because they hate me. But I will lose my audience. I won't become inclusive. I won't get more people. It's just bad for business. Besides the fact that I would have to grift by doing it because I hate communism as an ideology, it would make absolutely no financial sense. A better example would be if the Young Turks, okay, if the Young Turks started being right-wing tomorrow. So if the Young Turks decided, hey, you know what, we're actually going to start making right-wing content. Yeah, we're going to start supporting Donald Trump. They're not going to actually get right-wingers watching the Young Turks. They're going to lose their left-wing audience. They're going to lose their core base. They're going to lose their pay piggies. Like, every single person that donates money to the Young Turks is going to jump ship. And you're not going... I mean, sure, maybe you're going to get some right-wingers watching, like, what the fuck is happening? Is Anna Kasparian saying that? Whoa, holy shit. But, like, they're not going to replace your core demographic. I'm disappointed you didn't say my YouTube is filled with virgins. It's actually not. I do have the demographics. It would be very concerning if all of you were virgins to me. The population decline would be in serious issues if everyone was virgins. Isn't Kasparian doing that? Yeah, which is why I even brought it up. She unlisted her videos. She had this video where she was absolutely outraged over a murder that happened in New York and the fact that the murderer chopped up the body and tried to hide it from the police. So when the police finally found the murderer, his entire apartment was filled in blood to the point where the police decided that it's a health hazard for anyone to step in that apartment. And they take the guy into custody, and then they release him the next day without bail. And Anna is freaking out, and she's like, what the fuck is going on? It's like, is this what it means to be a leftist? If that's the case, I'm not a leftist. Like, that person is clearly a danger to society. She unlisted that video. And she unlisted that video after you have, like, left-wing podcasters going, it's like, Anna doesn't understand. She doesn't get it that the person... Like, people are victims of societies. They're victims of the systemic system. People commit crime due to poverty. They're pushed into poverty. Anna, you do not understand anything. And it's like, holy fuck, dude, you don't even know the guy. You don't even know why he did what the fuck are you talking about? Why are you so willing to rush to the defense of the poor psychotic criminal? It's like, why would you want to live in a society where people that are willing to take another life and chop others to bits are free on the street? Why do you support that? You walked into an explanation of the Young Turks, Jankus. They released him straight onto the subway? No, I think he had to walk there. By the way, V, pretty sure that your tweets were posted on the Just Neckbeard Thing subreddit. Please send them to Twitter, because I want to laugh. Like, I want to go through the comment section and have a laugh. No, I haven't seen Civil War. I'm not planning to. There is another thing which really annoyed me. Recently, I was having a journey, a spiritual one. A spiritual journey where I'm basically saying, you know what? Maybe Christianity wasn't that bad. I'm like Richard Dawkins, and I'm like, you know, I don't believe in Jesus. But maybe, like, religion itself isn't that bad. And Sargon makes the video, it's like, oh, you know, the Emperor of Mankind, would he convert the last Christian, and blah, blah, blah. And the thing is, there's an event that happened in Australia recently. Very gruesome. It's all over Twitter. This Orthodox priest gets stabbed by I think it's a member of the Islamic faith, right? And like, for no reason. The priest didn't do nothing to him. The priest is an old man, and you have, like, this individual just walk up to him and starting to stab. And I think, like, some of the people that tried to prevent the stabbing got stabbed as well. Right. So it's a very disturbing video. Like, I'm looking at that, and I feel disturbed. And you see that now there's a crowd of Australians protesting in front of that church, right? Like, they're demanding justice. Which is normal. It's what a healthy society should do, right? Like, I mean, this happened in the United States as well. Like, after the George Floyd situation, right? Didn't you have the Democrats encouraging people to go out and protest for their civil rights? I mean, it is something concerning. Anyway, right. I noticed this guy in the comment section, a religious individual, and let me see what he is advocating for. I'll read what he is saying. This indeed is a challenging time, but we as God's children should not let our responses be ungodliness, lest we provoke God's anger. Do not repay evil for evil, but be careful to do what is right. And I'm like, okay. Is this Christianity? Like, you have people getting outraged at an outrageous event. And instead of you being outraged as well, you're telling the people, no, the problem isn't the outrageous event. The problem is you that you're outraged. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's good that I'm an atheist and I don't think like this. I do not understand how you can... And then you have people saying, well, V, you know, I would rather live in a Christian country rather than a Muslim country, which is Richard Dawkins' argument. And I'm thinking, like, okay, but, like, if Christians think like this, how long is the country going to be Christian? Because they're not willing to even defend their faith. They're not even willing to even ask for justice. Like, I'm pretty sure that Christianity, through its thousands of years in medieval history, didn't think, oh, so if a criminal comes in and commits crime, we should just let it be. We shouldn't seek any form of justice. We shouldn't ask for any form of punishment. It's fine. No, it's just like... And I'm like, okay, but like... Then you go into this person's timeline and you find out that he's like one of the most woke individuals ever imagined. But like, if you were to have someone go in a church and chant homophobic acts, then he would be outraged, right? Like then he would probably protest. Then he would probably say, "No, we as a society, we have to get together and we have to." Blah, blah, blah. But when it's a violent act, he's like, "Well, we need to not respond to evil with evil." I haven't seen a single Christian do any evil act. I haven't seen anyone breaking the law or committing a crime. People are exercising their right of protesting, like they're in front of the church and they're demanding justice. You know, again, imagine, like, where was this guy during 2020 where you had, people in America protesting due to George Floyd? When was it? It's like, like, my brethren, we must not respond to evil with evil. Where were they? They're nowhere, right? When it's a leftist protest, when it's a leftist thing being done, nowhere to be found. Funny how that is. How many chicks can the Christians serve? That is a fucking great ask. I wish I had a time machine and speak with Jesus when he said turn the other chick. It's like, how many times, Jesus, though? Like, how many times? Like, what happens when I run out of chicks, Jesus? I'm chickless now. What do I do? I was very poor, but never cut off a person's head. Yeah, me too. Funny how that works. And you can't even justify that this is because of socioeconomic factors. The person seemed to be very wealthy. Turn the other chick is literally about not holding grudges after a court gives you a judgment. The thing is, like, you can interpret the Bible in many ways, right? But the thing is, like, if you're always going to show inaction and passivity, and you're not going to have any cultural pushback when there is pushback against you, then you cannot survive as an ideology. I mean, does that make any sense? When the Nazis invaded England had to fight back. They couldn't say, well, I really don't know what an airplane is. I don't want to fly. I don't want to mount an anti-air gun because I don't believe in violence. I just want the Luftwaffe to stop bombing. It doesn't work that way. Jesus. Yeah, no, the Bible definitely has some alright stuff, yeah. If I'm not mistaken, the Bible says you should never forgive someone in infinity. I didn't know that. I don't know. The thing is, okay, if you genuinely believe in God, which I don't, but if I were to unironically 100% believe in God, then this life really doesn't matter. Like, life on earth is like a test. And if you pass the test, then you get into paradise. So, like, you get an eternity of happiness. But and that is the life that actually matters. Like, that would be the actual existence where you're in paradise. But if you fail the test, then you end up in hell, which is an eternity of suffering, right? So, like, from a Christian perspective, the thing is, it actually makes sense. Like, it's not contradictory at all. Like, from a Christian perspective, if you unironically believe in the afterlife, then you understand that nothing on earth actually matters except for you to prove that you're a good person. Except for you to prove that you love God. That is the only thing that matters. Everything else is irrelevant. In fact, you can even make the argument that, like you get these aliens that are genociding everyone and they're killing babies. You would be happy because those babies are in heaven. Like, that's when their actual life begins. That is when they actually start existing, right? So basically, by this happening, they did not get the chance to sin while on earth. Again, it depends on also the type of Christian denomination. Like, in Orthodox religion, if you're baptized, I think it's like children below the age of 7, even if they sin, quote unquote, it's still fine because, like, kids don't know what they're doing. In Catholicism is different. Like, you get limbo. It depends from religion to religion. But yeah, V, when are you going to do a Nikkei tier list about the designs of the characters? It would be funny learning of the Romanian tastes in robot women. I don't think that I have a lot of subscribers that would be interested in that, but I do think I can make a DK Let's Play, definitely. You can't earn your way into heaven. It's by the grace of God. No, but by living a life of piety and virtue, it is the way that you enter heaven. Yes, like God, which is fair and good and just, would look at a person that believes in Christ and is a born-again Christian, and he would allow him in heaven. It's literally how it works. But anyway, right. I should. Well, am I wrong though? Like, I'm genuinely curious. Did I explain the Christianity dogma correctly? I think I did. And by the way, not all religions are like this. In Catholicism, once baptized, you go to heaven or hell over 7 or so. Under 7, you don't have full knowledge to commit. Yeah, it's the same with the Orthodox faith. Like under 7, you don't really have the knowledge to commit sin. So like even if you're a kid and you lie constantly or you steal from your parents or anything like that, it's not considered sinful because you don't have the knowledge. But I am right. Yeah, I think I. Where do atheists go when they die? No, it's pretty much like before you're born. Like, that's what I believe. Like imagine how life was before you were born, and that is exactly how it's going to be after you die. No difference whatsoever. Literally the same, right? So, before, like, imagine your earliest childhood memory, the first thing that you can remember. Yeah, imagine how it was before that. That's how it's going to be after you die. Anyway, I think I'll end it here. I'll try playing DK tomorrow. I wanted to take a break today, but this whole Warhammer thing came out that I thought that it's worth discussing. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Then maybe we'll set it up and I'll play a little bit if you're interested in that. Thank you for watching. I appreciate the viewership. Hopefully I managed to entertain you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.